Good morning and welcome to Finding My Online Biz. Keith A here, and we're building a brighter future online. Today we're going to do day 9 of Tim Schmoy's ebook, 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, coming right up. So here we are down on the beautiful beach again. Sun's just about to crack over the horizon, and this morning we're talking about day 9 channel branding from Tim Schmoy's ebook. The link is below. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Day 9 of Tim Schmoy's book is about channel consistency or branding. So it's all about making everything look the same. So everything from your channel art to your thumbnails to the fonts that you're using. And what I suggest is that you, regardless of whether you're using an online service like Canva or Snapper or one of those things, write down the fonts that you're using and write down the size of the fonts that you're using, either in a notepad or online somewhere, or even in a Word document. It doesn't matter where, as long as you keep track of all of those sizings, because I can guarantee when you go to try and find that font, you will not be able to find it. Now, as far as the color palette goes, find yourself a color palette, and there's some fantastic tools from Adobe, free tools at that, by the way. There's a free color palette tool from Adobe. Basically, you just take a photo of the things that you want in your color palette, and it will tell you what those colors are. It will tell you the hex values, so you can use those for the HTML values, for an example. It'll tell you the RGB colors. It'll tell you the CMYD or whatever it's called, those colors as well. So you could go off to the paint shop and buy that color, you know. So it's fantastic for that. So I'll review that as well. Capture. And this is an amazing app. What it allows you to do is to simply start it, and it will do the color scheme of whatever texture or thing that you happen to go up against. Wall of my kitchen, for an example, and I could then select that. Now freezes, and I can use that now to pick the colors that I would like to use as a color palette. Once I've done that, I hit the checkbox down the bottom, and these are now my color palettes. If I wish to save that color palette, I simply just select save, and I now have that color palette saved. And so if I want to go and use that color palette in the future, I can simply do that. So going back here to the color palettes, and you can see the different themes, and you can even rename that theme. So I could say Keith, I could call this, for an example, Keith's Kitchen. And there you go, Keith's Kitchen. And so it's excellent and enables you to be able to take a snapshot of any color palette of anything really, and it gives you the right. So if I go into that now and I go and check out some of those colors, it gives me the hex values, the RGB, the CMYK value, the lab color, the HSB color. So you could almost go into your local hardware store and get that color made. That's how good this is. So that's a handy little app for picking a color palette when you're looking to try and find a color palette that will suit your channel. Let's get back to the video. Just a fantastic tool, and the fact that it's free is absolutely brilliant. And so I really would suggest doing that and making sure that you note all of those values. Your hex values particularly. Once you've got your hex value, you're good to go. Really, you can convert any of those values into something once you have them. And so they're really important. So once you've got your color palette down pat, have a look at different color palettes and see which ones work for you. Now, not everything's going to work together, okay? And my dark green and my blue are not so fashionable, you know. Have a look at other sites, see what they're using as well. Not everything. High saturated colors work well for thumbnails because they grab attention, and that's what you want to do on a thumbnail. You want to grab attention. So use highly saturated colors in your thumbnails. That works really well, and you'll notice that quite a number of my thumbnails are quite colorful. I don't use a lot of saturated colors, but I'm working on thumbnails. And just remember that all a work in progress. So it's just about channel branding, day 9. So brand your channel, work out how you're going to brand it. Now, there's two types of channels that you can have. You can have a personal channel, or you can have a branded channel. Now, most of us have personal channels. You know, it's a text connected to your Gmail account. But if you're doing a branded page, you might need to convert that. Now, just be careful when you're converting a branded page across, because you'll lose all of your comments that you've put onto the page. Yeah, so branding pages, and it does change a few things on the page, but the main claim to fame is that if your channel does take off, if you're lucky enough for that to occur, you know, it may happen for me, the chances are pretty slim, but you never know. But if it does take off, then at least you could then assign other people to your page, and you don't have to give them your username and password, which you don't really want to do if you don't have to do that, because they then have access to everything. If you're like me, I like to create a new Gmail account for each of my channels anyway, to keep them separate. That's just me. So even if I did decide I needed some help, it's not a biggie, you know. I could give them that username and password, and it wouldn't make no difference, you know what I mean? Because it's not a critical thing. My channel accounts are junk mail as far as I'm concerned, really. Obviously, if the people from my channel email me, I'll email them back. But other than that, you know, I'm expecting mostly junk mail in them. And so if you separate things out like that, you'll find it way easier to keep your channel organized. And you won't have to worry about that. But changing over to a branded page, you just go into the settings, into advanced settings, and then you just simply do the conversion. Probably best if you're going to go to a branded page. Oh, the sun's coming up, wonderful. Let's have a look at that in the shot for a bit. Over here, oh, there you go. So the sun's coming up. People out running, doing their jogging for the day, their exercise. So the sun's just coming up, beautiful, look at that. So yeah, so in your branded page, set that up as well. You've really got to go through and set everything up again, set up your channel art, all that sort of stuff. But make sure that you've got all of that organized on your computer, somewhere, your laptop, whatever you're using, your iPad. I'm mostly using my iPad and my iPhone these days for all of my channel stuff. And so one of the challenges I'm having actually with the recording is looking at the camera, not at myself in the viewfinder. So that's something to remember too when you're taking your videos. Look at the viewfinder. I think I'm going to get a real red dot and put on there and say look here or something, so that I'm always looking in the right place. Anyway, that's day 9 of building a channel, is branding. So consistent branding it is. So be consistent in your branding. Make sure that it covers whatever you're doing for your business, that it covers that it covers your color palettes, your fonts, your styles, and all of those things. Keep them consistent, and your channel there is something in consistency equals credibility, and there is something about that. Like if you saw, and Tim says this in the book, if you saw Amazon's site from 1995, you wouldn't buy from that today, right? Because it doesn't look professional. It didn't look professional. Today it's a very different story, and they're making millions from online purchases now. And of course you can use Amazon, fulfillment by Amazon. Just look it up, just Google it if you want to know what it is. So you can buy something from China, you can source it here, they'll pick it, pack it, send it. As long as you follow their rules, you're good to go pretty much. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and have an awesome week, and remember to enjoy the journey, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye.